Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Passion Projects. Today on the podcast, we are welcoming our guest, Nate Stapes. He is actually a rapper from the UK. He has a couple songs out on Spotify, so please, here is the link to him right now. Go give him a listen. He is an awesome artist that is making some really cool raps with some awesome instrumentals and tracks, and he is totally worth giving a listen to. And this was a really awesome podcast episode. He really opened up his heart to share about his story, how he got into rapping, and just kind of what makes his art distinct and how he does things his own way. It's a really cool story. I think you'll really enjoy it. But yeah, please buckle on in and get ready for the next 45, 50 minutes of an awesome conversation. And thank you once again for tuning back in. Cool. Bye, y'all.
As you said, you've been working on music too. Is there anything new in particular working on that you'd be excited to share about?
Well, I've got a lot of projects coming at the minute, but the one I think I'm most excited about is like a mini EP I've got with one of my very close friends. He's a singer.
Nice.
We've been wanting to release these songs for probably 3 years now, but there's just been setback after setback. He's been wanting to like re-record some of the stuff, not liking how it sounds, but I feel like it's all accumulated into coming out at the right time so we can release like a full project. It won't be massive. I think it's only like 4 songs, but yes, really excited.
Do you have a release date yet?
We're trying to get it out by the end of this month, so hopefully on the 31st.
Yeah. That's exciting, dude. Do
Yeah.
you have a working title for the EP yet?
We don't have a title yet. So we go into the studio today, literally after this podcast. So we're going to get it all finalized, and yeah.
Let's go. That's sweet. So, I mean, that being said, obviously, you're talking about something new, but talk to me about like if someone asked you what you do artistically, give them like your stadium pitch, what you say you would do as an artist.
As an artist, I would define myself as more of a conscious storytelling rapper. I like to create music that has a message, something that can motivate people, make people feel a type of emotion that speaks to the soul. I know there's a lot of music out there currently. It feels like it's causing a bit of a brain rot, I'd like to say. Because in university, I studied the power and the effects of music on the body and the mind. And these words, when they go into your mind, you don't actually understand the effect that they have on you. And there's a lot of negative things in music nowadays. A lot of people talking about killing people, selling drugs, objectifying women, and it seems to be the norm. And I know it's a big task, but I want to kind of change that narrative and remind people that music is a way of putting across a positive message.
That's awesome. I love that so much. So, on the opposite side of that spectrum from what rap has become, what is your message to people specifically, besides just like a positive thing? What exactly are you trying to tell people?
So currently, right now, my main message is kind of a reflection of my current life. So it's basically sort of the songs that I wish I could be hearing myself. So sort of motivation, getting through tough times, chasing your dreams, never giving up. But on a larger scale, a lot of my old work especially was more about making people conscious of what's going on around the world. Some of the problems that people are facing that we don't necessarily see on the news. Just making people more aware of what's going on around them, making people more aware of like things like spirituality and being more in touch with their humanity.
That's an awesome message. That's something we definitely need more of, and I hope this EP that's coming out just continues to touch on that and make that a priority, because that's exciting. That's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
Of course. So, talk to me about how you first got into rap, and then what specifically drew you towards it.
So I originally got into rap was just first of all listening to a lot of rap music, and then the first time I really started rapping, I remember I was walking down the street with my friends on a break from school, and I was just rapping this song that learned off by heart. I was
Mhm.
rapping it out loud, and they were just jamming along, bopping their heads, and they were kind of like, "Hey, man, you should try and like pursue this. You're quite good at it." And then I went home, and I was just like, "Yeah, maybe I'll try that." Because I'd basically just given up on one dream. My dream was to be a football player, a soccer player,
Mhm.
and I kind of realized that wasn't going to happen. So I was kind of a bit lost, a bit drifting. I'd thoughts of maybe joining the um, what's it called? I think it's the Royal. Is it the Royal Navy? Something like that. In the UK, like joining the
Okay.
army. Basically, I was a bit confused. And music, it felt like at the time was kind of my savior, just that like helping hand to like pull me back and give me more direction in my life. And from there, I just started writing. Just started freestyling a lot with my friends outside. Did a couple of ciphers, writing in
Mhm.
class, at home, on the bus, any chance I could get.
How old were you when you had that interaction where you, rapped that whole song in front of your friends?
I was 15 at the time.
Okay. Okay, so you you kinda started then, got that feeling for it, and got that, kinda picture of what you could wanna do with it, and then it's kinda just taken off from there?
Yeah, that's it. I guess it started out as just sort of like a hobby, and then the
Mhm.
more I did it, the more it grew on me. The more I realized like music is actually a part of who I am, and it kind of defines me in a way. And it was meant to be a part of my life.
Absolutely. I kinda had a similar thing with music because, I wasn't musical really at all, and then in my junior year of high school, um, I joined my high school choir, and then it started this whole blossoming of learning how to play guitar, and then learning how to sing better, and then learning how to produce music, and it's crazy how music can just kinda, like, grab you at a time when you need it, and then can just become a part of you pretty much, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
feel like
it's
yeah, music has
100%.
music
What were
has
you
that
gonna say? Music's what?
power. It has that sort of power to just draw you in, and
Mhm,
yeah, because there's so many types of music. It can really just appeal to so many people in so many different ways.
mhm. Do you have any other genres besides rap or I guess, like, other forms of rap that you enjoy listening to a lot and take inspiration from?
100%. I think the type of music I listen to is really vast. I listen to R&B, I listen to a bit of house, I listen to a bit of reggae. I listen to some really down tempo song. One song, it came up when I was at work on a playlist. I think it's called Break Even. I can't remember who it's by, but it just reminded me of a time way back when I was going through a bit of heartbreak, and yeah, it just made me feel really nostalgic. But yeah, it just
Is it
reminded me, yeah, my
is it the "I'm still alive, but I'm barely
that's the
breathing"?
one. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that song's fire.
it is.
And what about, like, who are some of your musical inspirations, I guess you could say?
My biggest one is Mac Miller. He
Rip.
holds such a special
Rest in
place in
peace.
my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That was one of the saddest points in my life, really, when he did pass away, because he's been with me pretty much from the start of my adventure in music, and I've idolized him. I wanted to maybe one day collaborate with him and perform with
Uh-huh.
him. Um, his music in some way has shaped who I've become, and especially musically speaking.
Mhm. Anybody else besides Mac?
Yeah, Eminem is probably one of the biggest. I used to listen to Eminem a lot. Just in terms of his lyrical ability
Oh, it's
is just
insane.
insane, insane. I wouldn't say I was inspired by a lot of old school artists. More recently, I would say, sorry, a bit earlier, my main inspiration was B.O.B. as well.
Oh, I
Um,
love B.O.B., dude.
B.O.B.
B.O.B.'s great.
Yes. And then as I grew up, people like Wiz Khalifa started coming in. I listened to a bit of French rap as well at the time, but
Ooh.
more recently, people like Dave on the UK scene have really
Mhm.
pushed me to sort of develop my art and try and take it to a new level, because I'm seeing I'm seeing what he's putting out, and it's just like masterpiece after masterpiece. And
Yeah, it is really good.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so definitely like a lot of different styles that you kind of pull from, not just with rap, but like just very, very broad, very vast.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you consider, I guess from that, do you consider your sound to be kind of like a genre blend, or do you more so just kind of create what feels natural?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I think it is more of a blend. Um, because I don't want to be known as an artist who just does one style of hip hop. I want to be quite versatile. I want to appeal to all sorts of different crowds while also having my own identity, which can be a bit tricky. I know. But I just feel like limiting myself to one style of rap is not the way music was meant to be made. I mean, everyone makes it in their own way, but for me personally, I feel like being more versatile, having more uplifting songs, some songs that might be a bit more sad, some energetic, some songs for parties. I feel like, yeah, can really, yeah, diversify my music style.
Okay. And then so like I listen to all your songs you have on Spotify, and of course I will put many links up everywhere I can so people can go listen to it.
Thank you.
Of course, man. But like listening to your music, you can tell that your lyrics, like you've mentioned, are kind of like intimate and personal, and what you're saying really, really means something to you. Like it's not just empty words. And I guess like whenever you sit down to write lyrics, talk to me about where that comes from and kind of what you do that helps pull those emotions and thoughts from your mind onto the track.
Mm. So it comes from a lot of different places. I think Dave actually said something really interesting once. Sometimes the lyrics don't come from the artist, they come from somewhere else, but that is kind of hard to describe, and we're kind of just the vessel. And I do feel that sometimes where like I sit down and the words just flow and like I'll finish one song in one day. But then there are also other times where it's a bit more difficult and I'll have to really dig deep into my mind and really go to sort of a different place mentally, sort of a meditative state almost, and just full focus on just the page that I'm writing on. And then that can sort of like transport me to different places around the world or in my mind. And then the words kind of just, a lot of the time they just appear on the page. It feels like magic. And then, yeah, sometimes it's just really hard to explain. But a lot of it is down to practice. And I've had to, write for, so I've filled up so many books. Like I've got a cupboard there, probably got like 20 books just filled with lyrics. And I think that's a massive part of it as well. But
Absolutely.
yeah, some of it can come from research sometimes. Some of it comes from deep emotions from the past. And I think a lot of it recently comes from my present experiences as well.
Okay. So I totally agree that, practicing that over and over, it's just a skill that songwriting's hard. It is really hard. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it because like you said, I've had that experience too where I wrote like there was one time I wrote like 4 songs in one day and I loved them all and I was like this will never happen again. And other times I've spent months trying to write something and it just doesn't happen. And I think that's also just kind of part of learning that the creative process isn't always just this like neat flow of getting something done. It's a push and a pull and it's not always easy and a lot of times it's going to feel like a lot of friction into it. And on the other end of that, it's like, wow, but then I get to sit down and I get to make this song that I'm really proud of. So I think it's cool that you can, I guess, look back with the practice you've done and then also that creative process and kind of like mixing those together, knowing you practiced it enough to eventually come up with something you're really proud of and good at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I feel like also sometimes when it does become a struggle and it's hard to get the words out, it's very easy to doubt yourself as an artist and to feel like, wait a minute, what if I'm not good enough? But then, yeah, you just got to remind yourself, okay, I've come all this way. I've got all this portfolio of work that I've done, and just remind yourself, yeah, I'm actually good at this.
Hmm. How do you how do you go about creating a full track? Like, do you make beats yourself, or you typically collab with a producer?
Yeah, I'll collab with a producer, not necessarily collab. So I'll go on YouTube, and sometimes I'll be scrolling for hours looking for beats, looking for the perfect sounds, and usually I'll be able to tell by the first couple of seconds if it's something that I can really like make music to. Um, I have tried to make music in the past. I started to make a whole album of music that I've produced myself, and it still needs refining. It's a really interesting project, and I was looking back over it the other day, and yeah, it needs a lot of work, but it's something that I want to go towards more.
So, what do you use to produce? What DAW?
Logic, Logic Pro.
Okay, well that's what I use too. I find it to be the just easiest to understand, honestly.
Yeah, that is.
Production is a very hard process. Um, so you kind of like tried to make an album and then are tweaking it and really need to, I guess, focus on more like the mixing or production aspect of it in general. Is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah, yeah. So I feel like when I made it at the time, it's a lot of it still sounds a bit amateurish. The drums need a bit of work. Everything needs a bit of mixing.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna have to bring my engineer in to collaborate with me on this one. But yes,
And so you typically work with a producer most of the time, though?
yeah. Usually I have someone else make the beats, and then I rap over it. And then I also have an engineer, so I
Mhm.
send the final product of my songs to him, and then he'll polish it up and mix it and master it for me.
How did you find him?
So the guy that I'm working on the EP with,
Hmm.
he's one of his very close friends. Um, so he produced a couple of songs for him, and he was showing me the songs, and it sounded just so clean, so professional.
Hmm.
And I was just like, yeah, okay, I need to start working with this guy, to take my career to the next level. So
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm honestly really excited to hear this EP. I hope it comes out ASAP. Like I want to hear
yeah,
it.
no, it has to. Either way, there'll be if it doesn't come out on the 31st, there'll still be a release on that day. But I'm hoping we can get it out for you.
Okay. Exciting, dude. So I imagine this is always different depending on the artist. Like I don't know if you knew this as well, but like I before we started, but I do produce my own music and of course I work with other people as well, but typically it's start to finish. And that'll take me roughly like from the idea starting to it going live on music platforms, that's like anywhere from I don't know, 40 to 70 hours of work just to make sure the recording is done and like ready for everybody's ears. So from start to finish, kind of talk me through the process of how you get the track, record the vocals, get everything mixed and mastered. Like, just how does all of that work for you?
So what I'll do once I have a song finished and written, um, so I've got a home studio, I've got my microphone just there. I'll record like a draft version. I'll listen to it over and over again as many times as it takes for me to memorize the lyrics, find any flaws, things that need more emphasis, um, flows that I need to work on, and then I'll perfect that. Once that's done, I'll go to a professional studio. We've got something called Pirate Studio here in London. I don't know if they
Oh,
have that in America. Where you can just go in, basically bring your laptop and then plug it in, and then you're ready to go. They've got all the microphones, speakers, and everything. Um, so then I'll record a final version there. Once that's done, I'll export all the audio files, send it off to the engineer. He usually takes maximum a week to get back to me. And then once he's sent that back to me, I use DistroKid as a third party distributor.
hmm.
And they take about, so for Spotify, I think it's 7 days. I think for other platforms, it's a little bit longer.
It's usually, I think, 7-10 days tops for Spotify. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I do remember a time a few years ago when it was like 6 weeks, I think, for
You're
all of that.
kidding.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Whenever I haven't released music in like a year and a half, but um I would always try to space it out long enough to where I know it would already be on every platform so I could have that like specific release date. That was something I always found really helpful.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think one of the most important things about being an artist is being organized, having like a schedule, setting yourself deadlines. 'Cause you've got to treat it like a job. It's a business at the end of the day. As much as it um, is a creative art, and you want to focus on the creativity, you also have to have that business mindset.
Absolutely. Especially as like a modern day musician that hasn't necessarily been discovered yet or has the audience. I guess when you when you have a big enough audience, you can just hire other people to do parts of it. But when you're starting out, you are the CEO, CFO, marketing, business coordinator, say everything, dude. It's a lot of hats to wear.
It is. It is. It can get a bit overwhelming as well, especially the marketing side. I think that's what a lot of artists struggle with, but it's part of it.
Mhm. So you mentioned so you have that the home studio. You mentioned how you'll do a lot of kind of rough drafts there and record that. Talk me through how you, I guess you could say, like, edit along the way, because of course you're not going to always write something and keep it exactly that. So how is that editing process and refining your work? How does that go?
So I don't usually edit my writing at the end. I'll edit it a lot as I'm writing it.
Mm.
So I'll very rarely go back over a track and rewrite some of the stuff.
Hmm.
Um, that's why I think it takes me a lot longer usually to finish a track. Because like for one line, I remember I'm working on this song at the minute. Just to get one line, I think it took me 2 days, and yeah, it was just crazy. For the whole 2 days, pretty much, I was just thinking like, what rhymes with this? What kind of idea fits into this? Like, it's yeah. Um, and at the same time, I'm rewriting that line like maybe 30, 40 times. So I think I do the editing on the go while I'm writing.
That's cool though. I'm personally so used to doing it like as I'm sitting in front, like have my guitar in my hands and I'm like in the project. That's interesting though because I guess with rap it is just different because you can just sit there and da 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 and like just get it out anywhere. So that's a cool way to look at it. Um, so then for you, how do you decide when a song is truly finished?
So usually, oh, that's a good question. That's a very good question. Um, you mean like from the writing process or from like after the recording process?
Maybe talk about both if you can.
Yeah. So from the writing process, the song sort of has to end. It's sort of like a story, so it has to end on a closing point. And when it gets to the end of the song, I like to have like a conclusion or like some closing thoughts, closing ideas. And I don't feel like a song is truly finished until I've reached that point. And yeah, I feel like when it gets to the end, it's one of the best feelings because like you spent all that time writing, and then once you filled in that last line, it's like filling in the last piece of a puzzle, and
Mhm.
it just brings such a sense of accomplishment. And I think yeah, one of the best feelings is finishing a project and starting a project. The in between bit can get a bit complicated, but yeah. Um, and in terms of the recording, I think it's more of a collaborative thing with me and my engineer. So I'll send him my ideas and he'll come back to me and say, look, this sounds good. In my opinion,
Mhm.
you need to work on this. This doesn't sound good. And then we'll just go back and forth until we reach to a conclusion like, okay, this sounds good.
Mhm. That's really interesting. Yeah, definitely like the collaborative aspect of it makes sense because you have direct feedback, almost kind of like a coach, like a real-time coach. But I never would have thought of it that way. I guess once again with rap, it makes much more sense that it is kind of a story arc in general, but that's a really interesting I think that's a great way to put it. Because it does have to end. The story is concluding. All of the, you know, it is coming to a head and then then you're done and you're done telling that story. I think that's really cool. So that being said, what do you think is the biggest aspect of your art slash like rapping that you maybe struggle with? And how do you see yourself overcoming that as you mature as an artist?
Um, just from a musical aspect,
Mhm.
um, the things I struggle with the most. Ooh, hmm, that's a really good question. That's gonna
Thank you. You're good. Take your time.
things I struggle with the most in writing music. I think one thing that I've been trying to work on a lot recently is punchlines. So I feel like I've got the lyrical wordplay. I'm starting to master that. So everything to do with rhyme schemes and flows. But in terms of like the punchlines and things that get people, you know, being like, oh wait, what did he just say that? Like, what did he just say? Like, yeah, and that's something I've really been trying to work on recently. I go back to Dave again, example of Dave. You have people making videos about him, like breaking down what he's saying, like deeper meanings and like punchlines that have three different meanings. And yeah, that's
Mhm.
something that I really need to improve on.
Okay. I think that's a good answer. What's your I guess that being said, what is your favorite lyric or like maybe verse that you've ever written?
I think it's hard to say.
And I'm sure
It's
you don't
really
have all of your lyrics memorized in your head, you know? It's not like you can
no,
just pull
no,
out of thin air.
no, definitely not. It's I should have most of them memorized, but I think there's a song called "The Slumbering Soul." I can't remember the exact lines, but I think that's definitely one of my most um meaningful songs to me. Um, but then again, I think I would have to go for a song called "Silver Linings." Again, I can't really outline an exact verse, but just the overall song. It's just a reminder that you know life. There's a lot of there's a lot of negative things that are going to happen in your life. There's a lot of negative things going around in the world. A lot of things to bring our energy down to you know try and spread that negativity. But it's all about finding those silver linings, those magical moments, and focusing on the beauty of life. Because the more we focus and think about these negative things, the more we actually feed into them and amplify them. Even if you know our intentions are good, you know, trying to spread awareness about the negativity, that's still feeding into it. So if we shift our focus onto the silver linings, then we can, yeah, really
That's an
start to
awesome
make a
message.
difference. Yeah, thank you.
I think yeah, I think a lot of people could use hearing that because it's true. I mean, there's a lot of negative stuff out there. You can get beaten down by the world. We live in a fallen world, you know, you can get beaten down by the world pretty easily. And I think, yeah, you're right. Just hearing that there is some silver lining to it. We're gonna be okay, you know? I think that's a very good message to share. And I can see why that's your favorite.
Okay. Yeah, I
So
do.
I think you mentioned that you spent some time in France. To walk me through, like, the timeline of you being in France, I guess.
So I was born in the UK. I was here to the age of 7. My
Mhm.
parents just decided they wanted me and my siblings to grow up somewhere else, so we went to France, and I was there pretty much through all of my school years, so from 7 to 18.
So you, like, fluently speak French, don't you?
Yeah, yeah,
That's awesome.
it is, and I'm blessed. Yeah,
So, really you got your, like, I guess, beginnings in rap in France.
Yeah, yeah, literally. That's where it all started, pretty much.
So the French, I don't know for certain. I'm just more guessing than I am knowing for sure, but I'm guessing the French rapping music scene is way different than UK or London's scene. How do you think that early time as a rapper in France shaped what you do now?
Um, so even though I was in France, I didn't necessarily listen to a lot of French music. I didn't necessarily like a lot of it, I think, at the time. I think it has developed a lot more now, and French rappers have started to inspire themselves a lot from rap in the States and rap in the UK, and have sort of created their own style now. And I do listen to it a lot more now. But back then, I was really inspired by American rap. I didn't even listen to UK rap at the time either. So yeah, it was literally all American rappers that inspired me. Which kind of at the time, my brother told me actually. I started rapping with an American accent, and he was like, "Nate, you're getting good, but you need to be like yourself."
That's crazy. So I know we talked about like Mac Miller, Eminem being some of those biggest influences, and that was kind of at the same time you were, I guess, listening strictly to that American rap. That was who you were listening to.
Yeah.
Nice. So I guess since I thought it was originally going to be the UK, but then I thought it was France. So I could now ask, how do you think that American style of rap has influenced exactly what you're doing now?
Um, I think it's had a massive influence because yeah, like people like B.O.B., people like Mac Miller, they had such deep, meaningful lyrics in their songs, and that music shaped who I am, and it helps me get through some of the toughest times in my life. And that's what I want to be able to do with my music. I want people to be able to get through tough times in their life while listening to my music, while being uplifted and seeing the silver linings. And yeah, I think American rap has definitely got a big place in my heart, and it's definitely a big part of who I am today.
Have you ever been to the United States?
When I was really young, I think I was 5. I went to Florida with my family.
Nice. I'm 2 states above Florida. I'm in South Carolina.
Have you been there before?
Been to Florida?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, like probably 50, 60 times. Yeah. Well, Disney World's there. So how can I not go to Disney World? You know, we would always go to Disney World. Um but you live in London, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I've been to London 2 or 3 times, I think.
How did you find it?
And I like London. There's parts of it that definitely feel a little sketchy. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
100%.
But
Yeah.
um I know like knives, stabbings, that's a big thing in London. But other than that, like I of course love the scenery. Um and of course, like we've talked about a little bit before, like I love football. So I was there and saw I've been to Crystal Palace. What's Crystal Palace's stadium called? I can't think of it.
Selhurst Park.
Selhurst Park, yeah. I went to Selhurst Park twice. Saw an FA Cup game there. I went to the Emirates. Saw FA Cup game. It was Arsenal and Liverpool. So just strictly going for football. Oh, I love London. Went to Brentford. I can't think of their stadium either. The Stadium of
Um,
Light, something like that.
I think I'm not sure. I think that's Sunderland.
Yeah, that is Sunderland.
I can't think what Brentford is.
Oh, that's gonna annoy me now. I can't think of it. Yeah, but no, I love London, and I'm sure you and I could talk about football for a while. But
100%.
you said you're a United fan, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I'm used to it now. 10 to 12 years of
Oh
suffering,
yeah.
kind of get used to it.
But when you were growing up, they were like, they were the thing,
They were, man. They were.
and they're just still trying to carry that, but it's not happening anymore.
Nah, man. I think it's hard to replicate what Sir Alex Ferguson did.
No
But
kidding. How do you feel about Ruben Amorim? Do you think they'll sack him? Do you think he'll stay?
I think he'll stay, especially from the recent interview. Jim Ratcliffe said he needs at least 3 years, and I do see that. I think need to give him time. He's had one transfer window. He's only had four signings, I think. So I don't think that's enough time to. Obviously, the results need to improve. It hasn't been great, but I think he needs more time.
Yeah. What place does United sit in right now? Like 14th, 12th, something like that?
Um, I think they're quite low. I think 12, 11th or 12th, something like that. Yeah.
God, well, as a City fan, I don't I don't hope they do really well, but I hate to see United, like you don't want to see them at the bottom. That's
Yeah.
like, they have too much legacy for that. Yeah.
It still has to
But
be a
yes. Yeah,
rivalry.
legacy. What?
It still has to be a rivalry.
Exactly. But yeah. Um so I guess kind of bringing it back to the UK, uh the UK seems to have a very unique rap scene. And I guess how do you say your music fits into that landscape? And is that kind of who you're targeting, is the UK crowd?
In terms of the UK scene, I think I'd be considered more underground. The styles that are trending now is more like drill, a little bit of trap. I think I have tried a little bit of that. I don't know if you've heard the track RIP Doubters. That's a bit more of
Mhm.
like a drill sort of vibe that I went for. So I guess I'm trying to sort of appease that crowd and sort of fit into that as well without
Mhm.
sacrificing on who I am. So I'm still, yeah, sticking to the more underground music and hoping that it can still reach a good amount of people.
And so I'm guessing you really want your music to be for anyone, not just people in the UK, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I wanna reach people all around the world if possible.
Would you ever have you ever done a song in French?
I have a long time ago. One of my recent ones. Which one is it? I think it's the Word Whisperer. I think there's like 8 bars at the end where it's in French. So I sort
Uh,
of switch it up. But I need to integrate it more. Yeah, I definitely.
how does the lyricism change as you go to a different language in the same song?
So I feel it can be a bit tricky to get the flows right. And I think that's the hardest part about it, getting the flows right. But the French language is so poetic, and I think it's so suited for writing like rap music. So I think yeah, the two and two can definitely go hand in hand.
Yeah. Hey, if you did a song like half and half, English and French, I'm just saying, I think that could be pretty cool.
I'll have to give that a shot.
Um, so you mentioned a little bit before, but so you basically are looking for people to have this feeling of like positivity whenever they listen to your music. Is that kind of generally sum it up?
Yeah, I think a lot of my old music, especially my dad used to tell me a lot that I either sounded a bit too angry or a lot of it was a bit too sad and too personal to me, and I needed to diversify it a bit. So recently, especially, um, I think in that sense, I take a bit of inspiration from Bob Marley, who was spreading so many positive messages, and he made even today, like he's left such a massive legacy and still makes a massive difference in people's lives. So I want to have more of that impact, I think.
Okay. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with trying to be a little bit of Bob Marley, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, what do you see as being your biggest challenge overall so far? As like I guess you'd say like an independent rapper, you call
Yeah,
it? What do you
yeah,
think
yeah.
your biggest hurdle is so far with that?
Biggest hurdle was definitely um, treating music as a business, focusing on the marketing side, especially in this modern day, focus on like getting content out every day. Like it's a big part of it. And I think it's hard to find a balance between focusing on the creative side and focusing on that side of things. And I think the other biggest challenge is having having a son now. I have a lot less time to do everything, so I'm having to manage my time a lot better. When when I'm at work on my break, I'm having to write on the way to work on the train. When I get home from work, I'm having to work on stuff. And that's sort of like I'm having to squeeze it all in, which I don't mind, but yes, it's
Mhm.
definitely a challenge.
So, talk to me a little bit about what you do for social media, because in 2025, that can literally make an artist semi-famous in, like, a day, a week, you know? The way you can have one video blow up, so what are you doing I guess, what are you doing for social media?
So my main focus is on TikTok because I think that's where, obviously, with the algorithm, you could reach, like you said, millions of people in one day. And yeah, my main focus is just trying to get content out every day. For the first, what was it? I think from April this year to about August, I was literally posting every single day, and I was starting to see results. And then sort of met a couple of hurdles. Things started to go a bit wrong. So I wasn't posting as regularly, maybe once every other day. I think there was a week at the beginning of this month where I didn't post at all. I was really badly ill. Um,
Oh, no.
so I think what I need to focus on more now is trying to plan it out better. So I have like projects backed up. So maybe like 10 pieces of content backed up where I don't have to be like making videos every single day. Cause that's what I have been doing, and it can be a challenge, like making a video, editing it, posting it, every single day. Yes, it's a bit tough. So that's something I need to work on. But, I also want to work on my long form. So for YouTube, cause I feel like you can really build an audience on YouTube as well, and maybe make long form videos and then post snippets of it on TikTok. Um, yeah, social media is such a powerful tool, and nowadays, and I need to use it more to my advantage. Definitely.
It is tough, though, because I've been, like you said April to August, I've been uploading on this channel at least once a day, usually 2 or 3 from, like, June until now. June, July, August, September, yeah, for, like, 4 or 5 months now. It is tough, you know? You have to, like, carve time out of your day just to do it, but it is worthwhile because it's like every time you post a video, it's just another lottery ticket into a chance for something to blow up. Um,
That analogy. That's a really good way to put it.
Thanks. Um, I what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, long form content. So what do you see yourself doing with long form content? Because I think that could be awesome for
Mm.
you.
I don't have a clear idea yet. Obviously, music videos is one aspect, but that costs a lot of time and a lot of money. So I started this. I literally made one video of it, and it's been a bit tough to do it again because I was basically in the studio with my friends. I did a TikTok live, and I just posted bloopers of it basically, and it got a little bit of traction. I wouldn't say it went crazy, but it got a little bit of traction, more so than my other pieces of content. And I really want to start doing that more. You know, more like behind the scenes stuff, so people can see more of the creative process, more of what goes on when a song is being made. And yeah, I think that's something I could tap into a bit more.
Yeah, I could honestly, and I'm just brainstorming with you kind of at the moment, but I could see you doing like a long form behind the scenes video of you making not necessarily the EP, but like making a song and almost like recording the process and bringing people along with you from like writing to recording to producing to releasing. I think that could be a really cool video.
That's a really good idea, actually. Sort of like a mini documentary.
A little bit, yeah. Which is very time consuming and hard to do. It's not like that's easy, but
Uh,
I think it could do really well.
No, I do like the idea. I do like it.
Where do you see your sound evolving in the next few years?
Um, I think as a musician, like you constantly have to be evolving. So I definitely see myself expanding my skills and um, definitely adapting to different trends that might come up. Um, but I think as I mature more, I want my music to have more of like a singing aspect to it. I think a lot of people can appreciate that more. Some people don't necessarily like rapping, but I feel like everyone enjoys singing. And a lot my mom especially tells me, Nathan, you need to put singing in your songs more. So I think that's something I want to integrate a lot more in the future.
Do you also sing?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Okay, I see you. Well, if you ever if you ever want someone to like do a chorus or something to do a hook for you,
Yeah,
I would love to do that. That'd be really cool.
100%, man, 100%.
Heck yeah.
Um,
Uh, um, what's your dream you'd like to reach with music? Because obviously I know like you can have multiple goals all at once with like numbers you want to hit or anything like that. But what would truly make you feel like you've accomplished what you set out to do with rapping?
so I think to reach that stage of feeling accomplished, if we're talking numbers in terms of revenue, if I could be, just working full time for music, being able to quit my job, making anywhere between 30 to 50,000 a year, I feel like I've made it already. Obviously, I'll still be pushing on, still striving to achieve more. But at that stage, I feel like okay, I've accomplished something now.
Mhm.
But my main goal is I just want to be big in music. I wanna make a name for myself. I want to leave a legacy behind. I want to be able to influence future generations of musicians and just anyone really, influence all types of people. And it's gonna take a lot. It's a big mission, but yeah,
Well, I believe in you. I think you're gonna do it, man. I think you have a lot of talent. I really do. And I think your musical style is fantastic. I think you just need to keep doing it. Just keep refining the process and going, and I think you'll get there.
thank you, man. Yeah,
Yeah, of course. All right, I have like 2 more questions for you.
no worries.
Um, if you could collaborate with any artist right now, who would it be and why?
Ooh, so sorry, 1 second.
You're good. I've been drinking water this whole time. You are A-okay.
So the one recently, especially, I never used to listen to him a lot before. It's Russ. Um, he's just lyrically, musically, the sound that he has, the universe that he's created for himself is just incredible. He can sing, he can rap. The melodies are incredible. The message behind the songs is also deep and meaningful. And since Mac Miller passed away, I I haven't found like an artist that I really idolized to the same level. But I feel like Russ, yeah, he's on that level for me.
Yeah, Russ is sweet, dude. Russ is good. No one's Mac Miller, but Russ is good.
He is.
Do you remember the first time you performed live and kinda what that felt like?
Mm. I do actually. First time I performed live, my family were there actually. It was in a town called Toulouse. There's this massive square in the center of the city, and there this group had organized like this cipher. Basically, they were playing the beats. People could come up, sort of like an open mic kind of thing. I turned up with my family. I had my song ready, and yeah, stepping up to the mic. At first, I felt like super nervous, like almost shaking. But as I started rapping and as the words started flowing, sort of almost sort of like fit into my own skin and sort of appreciate the moment more, and I was able to calm myself down and just fully focus on performing and trying to entertain these people. And I think that just made my love for music grow even more at that point, and I knew even more that I was destined to do this.
That's sweet. And that was that in France?
That was it.
And did you rap it in French?
Oh no, it was in English, so
Oh,
they
that's
loved
even
it as
cooler.
well. Yeah.
That's sweet. How old were you then?
Oh, I'm not sure. I think I must have been 16 or 17. I would have been at the time.
That's really cool. So what's one thing about being a rapper that people might not expect?
Um, oh, one thing about being a rapper. Um, I think maybe I would have to say the amount of self-doubt, because every single day you sort of have this fear, like what if the talent goes away? What if the words don't come anymore? And it's sort of like an inner fight and an inner struggle that you have to overcome every single day. Just remind yourself, yeah, okay, this is what I do, this is who I am. But I don't think the fear ever goes away, and I think it's a constant struggle that people don't see as internal struggle.
No, I think that's completely true. And I think that extends to probably just artistry in general. You never know if one day it's gonna, you could just, like you said, lose it, you know? Hope not. Pray not. So I don't know if you've seen some of the other podcasts that I've done, but the last question that I always like to ask people is that what would be the biggest, like the one piece of advice you could give to someone that's like that 18, 19, 20-ish age range that's just becoming an adult? What's the biggest piece of advice you could give them as an artist to, you know, help them in this next phase of life as they enter into adulthood?
Mm. Um, I think the biggest piece of advice from my perspective would be um, enjoy the next few years that are ahead of you. Have fun, but also focus on your dream big, and don't give up on that dream for anything. Don't listen too much to what people are telling you around you. Like, you might be at the starting point right now, but the more you work on something, the better you're going to get at it. And the time you invest now, in 10 years' time, you'll be so grateful to yourself, and it'll be worth all the struggle. It'll be worth all the sleepless nights. It's just, yeah, it's just an investment. And I think it's a lot better to suffer now for the next 5 years and enjoy the 50 years after that, rather than to enjoy the next 5 years and then suffer for the next 50 years.
Completely agree. Completely agree. No, that's awesome. Nate, where can people find you?
You can find me on all digital platforms except X. That's one thing I need to work on a bit more. But yeah, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. You can find me on all of those platforms. If you want to listen to music, Spotify, Apple Music, these are all digital platforms.
And it's all Nate Stapes?
All Nate Stapes, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, Nate, this has been really fun, man. I really enjoyed it. That's all
Me
I got
too.
for you. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. This is the first rapper we've had, so I'm really glad to have you on here and have you talking through a lot of the stuff with music.
It's been my pleasure, man. I didn't know what to expect because I've never done anything like this, but it's been
Yeah.
it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having
That's
me.
awesome. Of course.